When you think of Italy, what comes to mind? Probably ancient ruins, incredible art, maybe some amazing food. And you're not wrong. But there's another story unfolding right now, a really complex, fascinating story where that rich past is being woven together with some surprising and honestly sometimes contradictory new ideas that are completely reshaping the country's future. All right, to get us started, let's just jump in with a quick question. If I asked you to name the most tattooed country on the entire planet, who would you pick? The US? Maybe somewhere in Northern Europe? Just take a second and think about it. You might want to sit down for this one. The answer is Italy. Yeah, really. A wild 48% of the Italian population, we're talking nearly 1 out of every 2 people, has at least one tattoo. That makes Italy the most tattooed nation in the world. It kind of shatters that old-fashioned image, doesn't it? And that gets us right into our first big idea, this new Italian identity. See, that stat about tattoos isn't just some random fun fact. It's a perfect window into this constant push and pull between the old and the new that's really defining what it even means to be Italian today. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it's a total paradox. On one side, you have tattoos being completely mainstream, a huge part of modern culture. But on the other, unlike in a lot of other Western countries, having visible tattoos can still be a major roadblock in your career. It's this direct clash between personal expression and old-school professional rules. But that friction, it's actually sparking some incredible innovation. Get this, researchers in Italy are working on light-emitting tattoos using OLEDs. We're talking about the same super thin, flexible screen tech you find in the best smartphones. I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it just goes to show how these cultural tensions are pushing the limits of technology. This quote just nails it. Italy is a country standing at a crossroads. It's trying to embrace the future while holding on to its amazing past. And this dynamic, this tension, it doesn't just apply to things like tattoos. It's playing out in some of the deepest, most profound questions about life itself, like the really sensitive debate over end-of-life care. So while the national government has basically been stuck, unable to decide what to do, the region of Tuscany has just gone ahead and acted. They've created a really clear, regulated pathway for assisted suicide. The rules are super strict. Your condition has to be irreversible, the suffering has to be intolerable, and you have to have refused every other option, including palliative care. But here's the thing that's really striking: the timeline. The whole process, from start to finish, can take a maximum of just 54 days. When you think about the years of legal battles and personal struggles people went through before this, 54 days is, well, it's a world away. It shows you just how urgent the regions feel this issue is. Now, this same kind of push and pull is totally reshaping Italy's economy. It's a story of both decline and, at the same time, this powerful rebirth. And a lot of times it's happening in the exact same places.
Let's talk about the decline first. There's this thing happening called banking desertification. It's pretty much what it sounds like. As everything moves online and some areas face economic hardship, physical bank branches are just vanishing. Entire towns are being left without a single bank. And the scale of this is just huge. We're talking about almost half of all Italian municipalities with no physical bank branch to go to. This is a massive problem, especially for older folks who might not be comfortable with digital banking. It's a real threat to making sure everyone is included. But right alongside that story of decline, you've got this incredible story of rebirth. In many of those same rural areas, agritourism is just exploding. Since the pandemic, the growth has been off the charts, more businesses, more visitors, and way more money coming into these communities. So what's driving all this? It seems to be this deep human need for connection. A connection to the land, to where our food comes from, and to just authentic experiences. People want to go biking, hiking, and have real tasting experiences. And fun fact, the northern region of Bolzano has the highest concentration of these agritourism businesses in the whole country. All right, now for a twist that I think is going to surprise a lot of you. When we think of Italy, we think of fashion, we think of food. We probably don't think of high-tech infrastructure. But Italy has quietly become a massive player in that space. get ready for this. Italy is number 1. Not in the top 10, not in the top 5. Number 1 in Europe for data center infrastructure. These centers are the absolute backbone of our digital world. They power everything from your social media feed to the entire global AI industry.
And that's not all. Italy also has count 'em, two supercomputers ranked in the global top 10. That is an insane amount of computing power, and it's fueling a booming AI sector that's putting the country right at the cutting edge of technology.
So what does all this high-tech infrastructure mean for the average person? Well, look at YouTube. The average Italian now spends over 18 hours a month on the platform. It's become this central hub for entertainment, news, education, everything. And it's a place where Italian creators, like the massive kids channel Mi Contro Te, have built media empires.
Okay, so let's start weaving all these different threads together. How on earth do tattoos, supercomputers, and farm stays create one single picture of modern Italy? Well, it all comes back to that central idea, weaving together the old and the new. This paradox is playing out everywhere you look. Take jewelry. You have this world-famous tradition of craftsmanship. But the fastest growing part of the market is actually smaller, more affordable brands. Or tourism. Italy has the #1 reputation in Europe, but they're lagging behind on social media, missing huge digital opportunities. And even family life. You have these strong traditional values right alongside the fact that medically assisted procreation has doubled in just the last decade.
So, what are the big takeaways here? What are the threads making up this new Italian tapestry? First, it's that constant tension between tradition and modernity. Second, it's this deep search for human connection in an increasingly digital world. And third, it's the amazing creativity and resilience that's born from all these contradictions. It means that to solve big problems, whether it's economic change or environmental crises like flood prevention, you need solutions that really respect both the past and the future.
And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As Italy keeps changing, how is it going to successfully weave its incredibly rich, complex past into the fabric of a global future that is changing faster than ever? That is the challenge, but it's also the opportunity that will define the next chapter of Italy's amazing story. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.